And now the adventures of Nick and Willikins.
This is England. Actually, that's a lie. We're really getting off on the wrong foot here. I don't want you thinking that I'm one of those unreliable narrators. No, this is not England at all. This is, in fact, a barely coherent caricature of England perpetrated by two men who have never even left North America. Consequently, the game you're about to play will almost certainly be riddled with inaccuracies, anachronisms, and bad accents. Like truly terrible accents you people don't even want to know. Anyway, they dragged me out of retirement to tell this story, and I'm not about to waste my extremely valuable time defending the ill-conceived choices of its writers. So, moving on. This is England. And this is the ancestral home of the wealthy and powerful Nick family, presided over by its last surviving male heir, young Nick of Nick Hall. Assisting Nick in the extremely complicated business of washing and dressing himself, along with the general maintenance of Nick Hall itself, we have this man. He answers to the name WILIKINS, but his young master has called him so many other things. WILIKINS is also one of the last of a dying breed, a breed of dedicated manservants tirelessly devoted to the well-being of their assigned charges, no matter the circumstances.
I cannot overstress the importance of following the instructions of one's master, no matter how seemingly misguided, unethical, or even mortally dangerous they might be. Ours is to serve, not to question. All of this being said, one does have some latitude when it comes to addressing one's betters. Traditionally, it is acceptable to adopt one of the three basic attitudes, as observed and practiced by the great Western powers of servitude. The first, and one to which I must admit a bit of bias, is the British method, which stresses politeness and civility. This method is kind without being overly familiar, good enough to sustain an empire of nearly 1,000 years, so certainly good enough for the likes of you. Second is the one preferred by our American brethren, the friendly approach, presenting the illusion of being the master's equal, despite the fact that you both clearly know which of you is the lord and which is the lorded. Finally, there's the aggressive method, typically employed by our old friends, the Germans. No great surprise there, while obviously not advocating outright hostility towards the master. It does emphasize the notion that even the most noble among us may, on occasion, require a bit of helpful prodding. Right, so, young Willikins, kindly choose one of these methods and demonstrate it to me and the rest of the class.
As you wish, sir.
Ah, the classic, polite, British method. Trying to get on my good side then, eh, boy? Mr. Willikins, you'll make a fine manservant someday.
Willikins, you're the worst manservant what ever lived. Now stop daydreaming about your boring past and tend to my needs.
So begins another exhausting day for me here at Nick Hall.
Too right, Willikins. As per our usual routine, I have prepared an itinerary of daily activities for you.
Oh, good.
Item 1. Much like the princess in that story about the wee-stained mattress, I have detected something amiss with my bed. Have a look under there, won't you?
Very good, sir. Ah, so there is something under here. A charger for a mobile phone.
That's what we call cellular phones in England.
Rather. I'll just tidy this up then.
Adequate job, Willikins. 5 out of 10. Honestly, you must try harder.
Oh, must I?
Now then, item the second. I'm hungry.
You're Mungry, sir?
Hungry, with an H. Now, I know you have some food squirreled away on your person, and I demand that you feed it to me forthwith and hence. Here too. And such.
I'm not sure why I bother. He'll inevitably reject this and any subsequent offerings, no matter what they are. Sums up my existence rather neatly, I suppose. Pizza, hamburger, sir.
Caw, that old thing, you made me that yesterday. It's rubbish. Bung it down a loo.
Of course, sir. That'll be the first of, no doubt, many then. These were prescribed by Master Nick's personal psychiatrist, Dr. Gesund. The label details the type of medication, recommended dosage, and a contact number for the good doctor.
Now that important business is settled, I want you to go downstairs and prepare me some proper brekkie. You know what I like. I want you to take at least 2 seemingly incompatible food items and combine them in a new and interesting way. Or an old and boring way, what I've forgotten about. Go on, off you go.
Very good, sir.
Oh, and Willikins,
Sir?
remember it's Thursday, which means you may only prepare the items on my revised menu of foods what I will only eat on Thursdays. You will know these foods when you see them.
Right, that thing. Very, as I said once already, good, sir. An ancient ancestor of Master Nick's, with whom he was also once romantically involved. Our history, like the history of most great English families, is complicated and a bit incestuous. It would appear that a brand new pair of rubber gloves, or hand wellies as Master Nick calls them, has fallen into the bin. Master Nick's Thursday menu does indeed allow for this particular ingredient. Master Nick's Thursday menu does indeed allow for this particular ingredient. This magnet lists the telephone number for emergency services, which, here in England, is 999. Sausages on toast is Master Nick's Cockney rhyming slang for sausages on toast. Not quite sure he's got the hang of that.
positively revolting. Honestly, Willikins, I don't know what you think you're bloody doing in that kitchen. But I've half a mind to just say sod it and prepare my own brekkie.
Indeed, sir.
Now bung this down a loo and make me something else. Now get your bum, and the rest of you, down to the kitchen and make me a proper meal. You know what they say, Willikins. Third time's probably going to be rubbish as well, because everything you do is rubbish.
Is that what they say, sir?
Well, that's what I say.
Well, I can't be sure, but I expect this does not bode well.
Has Nick done something untoward? Is it even possible to do something toward? And if he has, will Wilikins remain loyal per the rigidly binding ancient codes of English servitude? Find out, well, now. Seriously, you didn't think we'd just stop here, did you? Who would give you just part of a game? That's just cruel.
That came from the entrance hall. Much as I am loath to do so, I suppose it's my duty to investigate. I'm certain there was no corpse in this room when I tidied in here earlier. I suppose I'd better phone someone about this. It's still bloody charging, because of course it is, so I'll just leave it here and use the speaker function.
Emergency services, how may I direct your call?
Terribly sorry to trouble you, but a corpse has rather abruptly appeared, following a suspicious series of sound effects in our entrance hall.
Blimey, sir, that sounds serious. Our sat-nav tracker shows you're in Nick Hall, is that correct?
It is indeed. Well done, miss.
We'll send an inspector over at once.
I cannot thank you enough.
Morning all. I'm Detective Inspector Bobby of the West End Particulars.
Inspector Bobby of the Yard?
That'll be enough of that. Now then, I'm here about the corpse in your entrance hall.
Oh, that thing.
And this would seem to be a rather open and shut case. The victim, one Errol of Nick Hall, has clearly been murdered by you, Nick of Nick Hall.
You got nothing on me, coppers.
Actually, we've got quite a bit on you, sir. But under the circumstances being that you're rich, white, and clearly male, We can remand you to your residence of domesticity forthwith, and until such time as the court sees fit to hang you by your neck until dead.
That seems fair.
Oh, then I wasn't clear, was I? You, sir, are accused of murder and will be taking you away shortly. This will be very sad for you, and obviously for your manservant.
Yes, obviously.
So, just stay here and we'll be back for you soon. Cheerio!
Do people actually say cheerio?
Sir, is there anything I might do to assist you in this, your time of need?
Well, if you could finish carving that ivory bust of my head.
Sir, we've been over this. Ivory is highly illegal, which I feel I must point out is especially relevant now, in wake of these recent accusations.
So lazy.
Gentlemen, a crime has been committed, and it can only be solved by me, the greatest detective in all of England.
Oh, is that where we are?
Allow me to introduce myself. Special Inspector Clever Ruse at your service.
Well, if you're at my service, make me an egg.
My God, has this man been deprived of his breakfast? That in itself is a tragedy, but not a crime as such. Nevertheless, it's the most important meal of the day. Who's responsible for this grievous error in judgment?
That would be me,
You look after this lad, do you?
in a manner of speaking.
So clearly this incident is your fault.
Ooh, I hadn't considered that angle.
That's because you're not Clever Ruse, lad.
Sorry, not sure I'm following the logic here. How is this my fault? Are we going with the tired old butler did it cliché?
For all we know, the tired old butler did do it.
No, you misunderstand. Obviously, you're a man of breeding, sophistication, education. Oxford man, are you?
Cambridge, actually.
Oh. Well, we can't have everything, I suppose. In any case, they should have taught you. Even at a bin-liner school like Cambridge.
It was recently ranked the 4th best university in the world.
So not even worth a bronze, then, right? Your master's safety and well-being is your responsibility. Consequently, it falls to you to exonerate his lordship.
Really, I would have thought the great detective.
Here, take this. It's the official Clever Ruse My First Crime Scene Investigation coloring book. And that's coloring with a U, naturally.
Naturally.
This will guide even the most thick-witted Cambridge dunderhead through the process of forensic murder solvery. Essentially, it comes down to 4 elements. Motive, murder weapon, at least one corroborating witness, and proof of the suspect's sanity.
Good luck with all that, Willikins.
As you locate each of these, you may colour in, and that's colour with a U, the corresponding area of the page. When you've coloured the entire page, phone me, and I shall be along at once. Clever Ruse, away!
Oh, Willikins, did he just disappear in a cloud of smoke?
So it would appear.
Or disappear? Huh? Do you get it? Willikins? You still there?
cool, there's been a right argy-bargy out there this morning, and I was described as a full-on foofera. What on earth is going on?
Well, Mum, it seems there's been a murder in the entrance hall. We are currently looking into who the victim is and what exactly happened, but you'll be happy to know that Master Nick is, more or less, fine.
Well, in future, see that you keep your so-called matters someplace where I can't hear them. I nearly couldn't get back to sleep after all that racket.
Well, now I've got a haddock. It appears to be something hidden just beneath this top layer of potatoes. Master Nick has rather cleverly hidden his cold, soggy chips under these raw potatoes. Well, you can't deny there's a certain logic to that. Master Nick's Thursday menu does indeed allow for this particular ingredient. I can't quite reach to turn him over, but I did manage to dislodge the man's wallet. There's very little in here. The identification says his name is... it's Errol. The general ruffian and ne'er-do-well who frequently burgles our home. There also appears to be a note here that says, "In case of emergency, call this number." Well, that certainly sounds like a clue. This was left by an activist of some sort. It appears to have been left here somewhere around the time our deceased friend arrived in the entrance hall. It seems that someone attempted to deliver a package around the time of the murder. I wonder if the delivery person saw anything. It appears to have one of those bloody QR codes on it that everyone seems to think people actually use. This one looks more like an owl to me. I've always thought this thing was a bit unsettling, but I'm also fairly certain that there should be two of them. Surely one of them didn't just get up and walk away, though, did it? And do I actually want an answer to this question? Ah, an extremely rare double-headed haythroon.
Daffodils, those are for heroism. Daisies, they're for baking.
It's just a jumble of numbers and letters which apparently communicate some vital piece of information to the Royal Mail. It says 00D4L4Y.
jonquils, they're for toll booths.
I'll just draw myself a straight path to the center of the maze. And that's center and not center, obviously.
Azaleas, that's for good luck in the coming fiscal year.
Good morning. Beautiful day, isn't it? Could you step outside the hedge for a moment? I'd like to have a little chat with you, if I may.
I suppose it is a beautiful day at that. My mind's sort of wrapped up in my studies at the moment. What can I do for you?
Might I persuade you to alter your landscaping activities just a bit, miss?
Well, you might, but only with orders that have been signed by his lordship. Now if you'll excuse me. Begonias, that's for if you can't find a good rhyme for Abe the Godad. Marigolds, that's for gems, like the kind of fruit in.
Excuse me, Master Nick.
Wilikins, you heard that quirky detective. Stop running your bloody gob and go exonerated me of this crime. Also, I think he said something about a colouring book.
Ah, yes. My goals have indeed been clearly demarcated in the form of a child's activity book. Though surely you mean colouring, sir?
Why, what did I say?
May I assist you in some way, sir?
With what?
You mean apart from exonerating you of the murder charges?
The what now?
Never mind. I assume you'll ring the bell if you need me.
You should never assume, Wilikins. It makes an arse out of... Wait a tick, that'd be assume, wouldn't it? Wilikins, stay out of there. That area is off limits to you.
One assumes he's in there somewhere, given the alternative, that he's actually gotten up off his arse. Sir, I must insist that you allow me to look under your bed.
Wilikins, I've decided to try being indecisive. I always wanted to be a logical paradox.
Really, sir? Is that what you've always wanted to be today?
And so, in answer to the question, may I look under the bed, I say to you, I don't know.
You don't know?
That's right.
Sir, you realize I'm doing all of this to exonerate you of the rather serious murder charges that are currently hanging over you.
Then you better help me make up my mind quickly, hadn't you?
Very well. Yes, I may look under your bed.
Not good enough. I need you to introduce some kind of random element. A device of some sort that will make the decision for me in a satisfyingly unpredictable fashion.
Sir, you're just needlessly complicating things at this point.
Oh, you always say that. Now off you go.
Here, sir.
I suppose you want me to flip this coin to help me decide if you may look under my bed.
Yes, sir, if it's not too much trouble.
It is a great deal of trouble, but if it'll shut you up about...
About clearing you of the murder charges?
Right. That. All right, I'm flipping the coin, Wilikins. Call it?
Heads, sir.
Sorry, it's tails.
Are you quite sure about that, sir?
Yes, quite.
Only that coin?
It's tails, Wilikins. Just like my second favourite Sonic the Hedgehog character and my fourth favourite part of most animals. Which means you lose. You don't get the thing you want. What thing was that again?
I most emphatically did not want to look under your bed, sir.
Well then, the coin has spoken. You get under that bed at once.
Very good, sir.
What's this then?
Just some amendments to your ever-expanding hedge maze project, sir.
I don't remember signing off on these.
No, sir, you're signing off on them now.
Am I? Oh, it would appear that I am. Well spotted, Willikins.
Indeed, sir.
Willikins, what are you doing out there?
I was just picking up this object under your bed.
Yes, of course. Only... could you not do that?
Sir?
That is to say, could you go and wait in the dressing room for a moment first? As a good chap.
Sir, I must say, this isn't making you appear to be less guilty.
Just go in there and wait until I give the all clear. Then I promise you can have whatever rubbish you find under there.
Very good, sir. Well, I can't be absolutely certain, but I believe the plumbing has backed up again. And there's only one place the excess water can go in this house when that happens.
Okay, it's safe.
I managed to retrieve the line before that rodent gnawed completely through it. That little blight is going to be trouble. This may be the first time in all my years of working here that I've used poison as a verb, and not in the way I'd always imagined it either. That dead rat won't even be in the top 10 smelliest things I've had to deal with down there, sadly. The diameter of the gnome's pointy cap would seem to match the diameter of the wound on our foyer corpse. I believe I may indeed have obtained the murder weapon. After a considerable fashion.
Hello, this is Nick.
Sir, I'm trying to determine who may have had a connection to the body in our entrance hall. Why on earth would you be answering a number that I found in the deceased's pocket?
Errol, As you know, Willikins, Errol's my friend, but I did tell him that he'd better not rob us again or I'll bloody kill him.
Sir, you've put me in a very awkward position here, because I do appear to have found a motive for Errol's murder. However, that motive belongs to you.
Finally, you did something right.
No, sir, this means you're still very much a suspect.
Well, obviously you're not going to say that to the detective, since you're duty-bound to protect me. So, I don't know, tell him someone else had a motive. I'm sure you can make up some lie or another. You somehow convinced my family you were a decent butler when you were hired, so you're obviously extremely skilled at deception.
Welcome to Stuff Bringers Intercontinental. Do you have the delivery slip that the driver left behind?
I have, yes.
And could you describe to me the animal that the QR code on the slip most closely resembles?
An owl. Definitely an owl.
Good, good. Right, now then, what is your postcode?
Of course. Our postcode is 00D4L4Y.
Good, good. Now then, I'll need the name of two of any of the recipient's direct ancestors.
Lady Beatrice. Her painted likeness smiles upon me every time I pass through our dining room.
Right, that's one.
I may need to get back to you on that. Could you hold the line, please?
Well, sir, unfortunately I shall need to terminate this call. Please feel free to call again when you have even the most basic of information required of you. Good day.
Good morning, Miss Petunia. You're holding up well after the recent unpleasantness.
I always hold up well. Quite firmly, some might say.
Some presumably must, yes. Miss Petunia, ma'am, if it's not too much trouble, I require the name of one of Master Nick's ancestors.
Ooh, is this for some little project you're working on?
The project of exonerating his lordship of the murder charges, yes.
Well, let's see. There's me, of course.
Yes, I know that one.
But not in the biblical sense, eh, lad? Not due to a lack of trying on my part.
Rather. Could you perhaps provide me with a second name, ma'am? Any ancestor at all will do.
What am I, a bloody gynecologist?
I believe you mean genealogist?
I'm not one of them neither. Go look at a painting or something. The hole's full of 'em. Surely one of those pictures is of someone we're related to.
Yes, well, thank you for your, I hesitate to say help, but in the absence of a more accurate word, it'll have to do.
Welcome to Stuff Bringers Intercontinental. Do you have the delivery slip that the driver left behind?
I have, yes.
And could you describe to me the animal that the QR code on the slip most closely resembles?
An owl. Definitely an owl.
Good, good. Right, now then, what is your postcode?
Of course. Our postcode is 00D4L4Y.
Good, good. Now then, I'll need the name of two of any of the recipient's direct ancestors.
Well, there's good great-aunt Petunia, who lives downstairs.
Excellent, sir. That was all I required.
Oh, really? Only that?
I shall now connect you to the delivery driver you're trying to reach. Please hold.
Very well.
Stepbringers Intercontinental, this is Deirdre. How may I help you?
Oh, no. Hello again, Deirdre. I thought I was to be connected to the delivery driver.
Yes, speaking. A lady can drive a truck and answer phones, you know.
I suppose you truly can have it all, then. Listen, there was a rather unpleasant incident here at the hall this morning, and I was wondering if you'd seen anything untoward during your visit.
You mean the murder?
Yes, that is exactly what I mean.
As it happens, I did see the incident, yes, sir. However, in order to provide you with further details, I shall need you to fill out Inquiry Form 6B and speak with my manager. I'm just fooling with you, sir. What, do you need me to call the police and promise to report what I saw as an official witness?
That would be wonderful, yes, thank you. And if it's not too much trouble, could you tell me what you saw first?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you, sir. Goodbye!
This is the head-shrinking doctor. How may I assist you?
I beg your pardon, I was trying to reach a Dr. Gesund.
Ja, speaking. Dr. Gesund at your service.
In England?
Terribly sorry about that. I've been brushing up on my German accent, you know. Seems I'm taken much more seriously when people believe I'm German for some reason. How may I help you?
Good morning, WILIKINS the butler here. I should like to request sanity paperwork for Nick of Nick Hall, if I may. Please and thank you.
Nick of Nick Hall, is it? Well, I can't give that information to the likes of you, of course.
Ah, yes, medical ethics.
What? No, because you're a lowly servant. However, as it happens, I issued just such a certificate to the patient's only surviving relative.
Right, thank you. Just hurry up and get through this, WILIKINS. It's for the greater good. Just lie back and think of England. Good morning, beautiful.
Oh, beautiful, is it?
That and so much more. I scarcely have the words to fully quantify your loveliness, my dear.
Well, perhaps you'd have learned them if you hadn't gone to bloody Cambridge.
Indeed. So, my lovely, would it be too out of line to request a very small favour from the most stunningly gorgeous creature I've ever laid eyes on?
Oh, well, I suppose not. But you'll have to do something for me.
Name it and it's yours. Anything for you.
Oh, give us a little turn round.
I beg your pardon?
Just give us a good look at the whole package, if you gets my meaning. Nice and slow.
Very well.
Ooh, delightful! That one's going in the old WB, I can assure you.
WB, Mum?
The second word is bank. First word rhymes with that. Now let's see. I hid that paper some time ago for young Nick's own protection, and I wrote down where I hid it on this paper. Here you are, dear.
This appears to be in some sort of code.
Yes, that's right. I used a decoder ring I got from an American cartoon show I rather fancy. Unfortunately, I lost that ring, so you'll have to get another. But that shouldn't be too difficult for the likes of you.
I wouldn't have expected you to be a fan of American cartoon programs, miss.
What you don't know about me could fill a bloody town, boy. Now, bugger off. I'm done with you now, and I've important business to attend to here.
Morning glory, that's for I want to be enough. Late evening failure.
Hello. Won't you join me, please? I've some urgent business to discuss. Master Nick has approved these changes for a hedge maze, miss.
Oh, so he has. I'll get started on this right away then.
Oh my. Good heavens, the girl's a natural.
There we are. Precisely to his lordship's specifications.
Who knew so much of this job would involve having to plug things in?
There! We've gathered the 5 components for the Professor's machine from the 5 corners of the globe. Now we can finally stop Baron Malevolent! Meow! What is it, Astrocat? Meow! Oh no! A deadly dick bat!
Hey kids, join the Sarcasters. You get all this cool stuff, including a nifty decoder ring. It's easy and it's fun.
Well, good. Now I can order myself a collectible keepsake from that children's cartoon. God, I hope none of my classmates from Cambridge can see what I've made of my life.
Welcome to Sarkasteer Central, home of Dottie Patrol and our exciting one-of-a-kind decoder ring.
Didn't I speak with you earlier today?
Not unless you dialed 999. Wait, is that WILIKINS? Hello again, this is Beryl.
Are you the only telephone operator in England?
Cool, it feels that way sometimes, doesn't it?
Rather. Now then, I'd like to order...
A decoder ring? I guessed it was that, since that's the only thing we sell here. According to our records, we already sent one of those to a Petunia of Nick Hall some time ago. Were you looking for a free replacement to be sent to the same address?
Yes, that would work nicely, thank you.
Righto. We'll get that in the post via the fastest means we have available.
No need. I'm certain it'll be in our post box by the time I make it all the way out there. Master Nick insisted that we spare the postman the strain of having to walk all the way up to the hall. Clearly this isn't a concern when it comes to the likes of me, however. Anyway, thanks. Goodbye. This would appear to be the all-important decoder ring, upon which my entire day now hinges, for some inexplicable reason. The note says that Master Nick's sanity certificate is in the library portion of his drawing room, inside the book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Very Big Fish. Finally, official documentation of Master Nick's sanity. That's all 4 of Clever Roos's rather condescending puzzle pieces found. I suppose I should phone him now and be condescended to further.
You've reached Clever Roos?
Yes, hello. This is WILIKINS the butler, from Nick Hall.
Yes? You must be very proud.
We spoke earlier, at length. You came here and told me what evidence I'd need to present in order to solve the murder that took place earlier today.
Oh, yes, of course. You've located that evidence, then.
More or less, yes.
And said evidence exonerates your lord and master?
As far as you know, yes.
Excellent. I shall be there momentarily. Meet me at the scene of the crime.
Very good. Obviously, some of this evidence paints Master Nick in a, shall we say, less than innocent light. But I think I can accidentally omit those details when presenting it to Mr. Roos.
Excellent work, chap. Top notch. Couldn't have done it better myself.
You didn't.
Yes, but now comes the most important bit. Assembling this data into an official Clever Ruse information packet for easy consumption, processing, and adaptation into various forms of highly lucrative media.
So you're going to take the hard work I've done, scrawl your name at the top, and take credit for the whole thing.
It's a bit more complicated than that.
Is it? Explain it to me, then.
No time for that. I have an important call to make. I shall be in this adjoining room here, not to be disturbed.
Who does he think he is, ordering me about like that?
That's my job!
Off I go! What was that code we had agreed upon for when someone we don't want hanging about is hanging about? Well, I can't remember it either. That's why I asked you. Don't forget it. The point is, someone is in the room now, and I can't say anything. Yes, I have all the evidence that clears Lord Nick's name. No, I didn't need to lift a finger. I convinced the idiot butler to do it for me. He's quite the idiot. And also extremely ugly.
Well, that's just hurtful.
And get this, he actually believed I was affiliated with law enforcement. Didn't ask to see a single credential. Ugly idiot. Of course I'm going to bug it down the loo. What better way to destroy the evidence, assuring his inevitable execution, and then I shall have unfettered access to those bearer bonds. No, I don't know what they are, but I know they're valuable. Something to do with the war, I think. Anyway, that's my sinister plan. But look at me dominating the conversation. How have you been? I see. Yes. Oh, and how is Uncle Alfie? Still dead, then?
Good heavens, I must call emergency services immediately.
Emergency services, how may I direct your call?
Hello, I wonder if I might... Wait a minute, that's not Beryl, is it?
Oh, well spotted, sir. I can see from our display that you're calling from a rather posh mansion, so you may not comprehend this. But working folk are entitled to a day off once in a while. We are, despite the way you lot treat us, human.
Yes, of course. As the personal servant to a rather difficult master,
Are you taking the piss, sir?
I beg your pardon?
We ain't servants. We've no use for that archaic class-based nonsense here. Now, what was it that you wanted?
I must speak with Detective Inspector Bobby at once.
A servant speak to an inspector? Not on my watch, sir. D.I. Bobby is much too busy to waste her time on the likes of you.
Really, this is rather urgent.
Well, if it's so bloody urgent, I'm sure your master will have no trouble phoning back.
Well, that was a real roller coaster of class politics. Suppose I'll have to convince Master Nick to phone for the inspector. Sir, if you would, the authorities require an authority to convince them to return to the hall, and I suppose that means you. Sir, are you in there?
Willikins, where the hell have you been?
I was about to ask you the same question, sir. Although I may not have phrased it quite so aggressively, depending on how I was feeling at the moment.
I was lying in my bed wondering why I was feeling so bloody peckish when I realized you never actually fed me today. So, at considerable risk to my person, I came down here to see if we were somehow out of food. Not only did I discover that we were not, which therefore means you're just as lazy as I always suspected you to be, but I also found the hole in a state that I can only describe as a complete disaster.
Yes, sir, only I have been devoting considerable time and energy to clearing you of these murder charges. And, to that end, I need you to phone the police at, as you would say, Wumps.
Ah, no you don't. I'm not lifting a bloody finger for you until you answer for this mess. Starting with this room here, the food laboratory?
The kitchen, sir.
Right, that thing. Now, I know you were down here at least twice today, and as far as I can tell, you just sort of wandered away without preparing me any food. Why did you do that? Where's my food? And most importantly, why did you do that?
Because I'm a rubbish butler?
Go on.
Who is terrible at everything?
Correct. Now to the wine cellar for further admonishments.
Oh, good.
Now then, I very generously granted you this personal living space when you wouldn't stop grumbling about sharing a kennel with my little dog Willikins.
Extremely generous of you, yes, sir.
And now I see that you converted it to a bloody swimming hole. We're not zoned for that, Willikins. Explain yourself.
Because I'm literally the most worthless, thick-headed soul to ever draw breath.
Got it in one. Or possibly two. I can't be asked to count. Right, now it's on to the front garden.
Sir, this all seems a bit needlessly complicated.
It would seem that way to you, wouldn't it? And now we come to this. You do realise that is meant to be a hedge maze of doom, don't you, Willikins? Only now there's this obvious gaping hole in the thing that any idiot could easily escape from. Possibly even you.
Because I'm a jerk, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir. A complete knee-biter.
There, that wasn't so hard now, was it?
Humiliating myself 3 times in a row? No, sir, that's just a typical day here at Nick Hall.
Too right. Now, what pointless thing was it that you wanted me to do?
I need you to phone the police, sir. It turns out that clever Roos fellow was attempting to scam us.
What, like in that movie where that bloke's head exploded?
No, sir, that's scanners.
What, like the Hulk's secret identity?
No, sir, that's Bruce Banner.
What, that trolley little man what's always on Hollywood Squares?
No, sir, that's Bruce Valanche.
What, like my 4th favourite flavour of Dorito?
I don't believe Dorito is spelled that way, sir, but no, that's Cool Ranch.
What, like when Marge Simpson had a mental breakdown?
No, sir, that's Rancho Relaxo.
Constable Bobby returned to Nick Hall, whereupon she was regaled with an accounting of the true events that unfolded that fateful morning.
There I was, sequestered in my chambers. Willikins had ruined my brekkie twice and was almost certainly about to muck it up again. I got bored waiting for his inevitable failure, so I ventured downstairs of my own renaissance.
Sir, don't you mean recognizance?
No. There I met Errol, who, in keeping with tradition, was stealing my newspaper to have a look at the page 4 girl.
Surely you mean the page 6 girl.
No! Unfortunately, before I could forthwith and heretofore arrive upon the scene in question, Willikins had got there first.
But, sir, I was clearly in the kitchen.
Not you, my little dog, Willikins.
You have a dog called Wilikins. Doesn't that get confusing?
Not to me.
Him.
Apparently, Errol was not expecting the presence of a personage of the canine persuasion and, startled, stumbled backwards, impaling himself on my commemorative garden schlam. Impaling himself fatally to death until he died. And since I didn't want the authorities taking my little dog away, I hid him up here. The end.
That all makes perfect sense, sir. But there's one thing.
Ah, no you don't. The murder is solved and I'm innocent. Don't you go all Columbo on me now.
It's a fair cop. Unfortunately, we shall now have to bring someone else in for questioning.
Ah, yes, the so-called detective, Cleverous.
What? Who? Never heard of him. I meant the dog. You, my little murdering fellow, are coming with me.
Oh no!
Will Nick's dog be executed for murder? Was the vast majority of this game actually a pointless waste of everyone's time? And what of poor Errol?
Still dead.
I'm actually not sure why I'm asking these questions, because the story is over now. Roll credits!